What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Off the Top podcast. I am your host, Michael Jordan. No, I don't play basketball. This is a different episode. I actually have a guest. I know. This is not something that I do, and I can tell you this: it is difficult as shit. Let me just tell you that. This is recording number 3 of a 3-hour conversation. So, I'm gonna introduce my guest here. We are acquaintances of many years. T, welcome to the podcast.
Hi guys, what's up?
Is that it? You got nothing else? That's a bland ass like you come. No.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having me on the podcast today. I'm T, your host.
Co-host.
Your co-host.
For this episode.
What's up, everyone?
Much better. A little bit of flair, you know? Yeah, just a little bit of flair.
That one made you blush, didn't it, huh?
Sure. Alright. Just a disclaimer. The views of the guest is not the views of the podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about hypersexualized things and, things like Onlyfans and such, and the effects that it has had on dating and society in general. What I see is that sex and women and vagina and all these different things have come to like the very top of a priority list for men, and it puts us in a place where, because it is the top priority, we are so easily broken by it.
In that situation, that is usually by design, though.
It's designed for us to be weak that way, is what you're saying.
In terms of now you have sex available at the click of a button now. Never before has sex and the depictions of it been this available to a vast majority of men in history. Hence why back in the day they would somewhat have some form of control, and instead of having instant gratification they would have to work for these things, work to get these things, aka the vagina. Nowadays, vagina is 50% off on OnlyFans. They don't have to do anything to get it.
I heard that recently somewhere. Recently.
You mean Hot Damn It Rock?
It is him. Yeah. I heard him say that.
Yeah, man. He made a recent video that was incredibly profound.
I saw it. I don't really feel the bum vibe, but
No. He has a very, very, very recent video.
Yeah, no, I saw it, and he looks like a bum, but.
Yeah. The dude had a whole spiritual awakening from
an
experience. Give him a break.
Yeah, I saw it. Don't get me wrong, I saw it. It was very profound. I spent more time listening than watching.
It was. I watched it like 3 different times. And like this hit really well.
Yeah, he's good at what he does.
But he's right though. Because he's 50% off on OnlyFans. People we got it for $2.50. Get it now. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I actually put this on a podcast, but I subscribed to 2 young ladies' OnlyFans for the experience, so I could talk about it on the podcast. But I don't think I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
But I did subscribe.
And how was that experience for you?
I did not like it.
Was it worth the money?
The visual.
Did they have a 50-cent sale?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
The visuals were nice to look at. but I couldn't see myself giving them money every month.
And you know, some weak men out there will do it every month gladly. When porn is out there for free, and I'm like,
Well, it shouldn't be for free because it's supposed to
shouldn't
be
be.
paid for. But yes, free porn.
Well, the pandemic has done some shit to people, so they had to lull them with free porn.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I didn't like the experience at all though. I don't. It's not for me. I
For me,
can see the allure of it. I really
what I
can.
don't understand, right, is like at the end of the day, you are selling your looks and your vagina, what's not. But that is not going to last forever. But those pictures on the internet, best believe them forever. You cannot get rid of them. People will be saving them and they will be stored for decades upon decades. Can't get rid of them. And that is something that if you decide to have kids and what's not in the future, and your children goes to school and the kids in school say, oh, look at your mom on the internet selling vagina.
I'm actually getting to have a conversation with a woman about OnlyFans, which I usually don't have. So it's now becoming interesting to like hear your thoughts on it. Outside of
Hey,
like
I'm
one or two
I'm
friends.
just one female, cause I got some females that would be like, yeah, girl, go get your money. Yeah, girl, you can make. There's some girls that make millions of dollars on this whole OnlyFans thing, and hey, all power to you. I'm just saying, every action has a reaction.
Do you think it's worth it?
No, I don't.
So you
I
don't
really
think millions of dollars is worth a little bit of nudity on the
sell,
internet?
sell your soul for $1 million? Really?
I don't know, I'm just asking the
Okay.
question.
A lot of these females are very unhappy. They can't have sustainable relationships because the men that are interested in them treat them like shit. Because if you don't value yourself, you don't respect yourself enough, then how do you expect other people to respect you? To me, if you think respecting yourself is making yourself a spectacle for the entire world, to fap over or to criticize or to gawk over or to use it as, people can use that sort of stuff as blackmail. People can use that sort of stuff to get you fired from your job. People can use that stuff to get your kids bullied. People can use that stuff to ruin your life. People can use that stuff to defame you. People can use that stuff to destroy your character in the eyes of other people. There's so many things that those pictures do, but people look at it in the simple terms of, oh, it's her body, she can do whatever she wants. I'm like, yeah, she can, but best believe you must you must take responsibility for your actions. So the same way how you can post those naked pictures online is the same way everyone who can see them, they will judge you for it. And you cannot stop it. You cannot complain, no amount of complaining and virtue signaling and protesting and slut shame. What do you call it? Slut walking? You slut walk?
I
no,
I think so.
no amount of any of that is gonna stop people from judging you. You
Okay.
will be judged.
Okay, so uh what was my question? I had a so do you think the over sexualization and quote unquote freedom of expressing yourself in a sexual way has negatively impacted women?
It's negatively impacted society
Go
in
on.
general.
Because what you're
Women
saying is hold
are
on, hold on, hold on,
valuing.
hold on, hold on, hold
I
on.
want to finish this. I
Wait,
really want to.
I know I want you to get into it, but just give me a second.
Okay.
Give me a hot second. Because what you're saying is that now we're at a place in society where um it is okay, it is encouraged for you to express, and I say you as me women, but in general as well, but mostly for women, that it is okay for you to express yourself in any kind of sexual manner if you deem it the best thing for you. But in actual
No,
fact, it is, having more
nowadays,
harm than
people are
good.
nowadays people are promoting um what is the word I'm looking for? Basically, oh, you can do whatever you want, but they do not preach accountability.
Hmm.
They don't preach accountability. There's like, oh, we should accept people doing this and we should accept people doing that in the next and the third. It's like, but they don't tell you what happens when you do these things. Everything that you do, there will be a reaction to it.
They also
And
say that
that's,
if you don't agree, you're a bigot, apparently.
I don't care. I don't care. That is the worst argument for literally anything when it comes to adults taking accountability for their actions. That's basically coddling grown adults like children. Everything as a grown adult, you have to take accountability for all of your actions. And don't ever think that just because, oh, but I'm doing this because it's my prerogative and I want to do this and what's that is fine. Do you? But you have to pay for your actions.
So what about the women that genuinely enjoy what they do, which is
Hey, if they genuine. Okay, wait. Continue. Sorry, let me not cut you off. Continue.
no. That was my question. What about the women that genuinely enjoy what you do? Do you believe that?
Genuinely enjoy what they do, like what? Cooking,
No, I mean like
cleaning.
no. We talk about like OnlyFans and the hypersexualization of these things, and what if they genuinely enjoy what they're doing? Do you do?
How do we know they genuinely enjoy doing it?
I don't know. I'm just there has to somebody has to.
There's not a lot of people who claim to enjoy doing certain things, but they don't actually enjoy doing it. They do it as a means to an end, not because they necessarily enjoy doing it.
Well, here's the
Like,
thing.
yes, I enjoy busting it wide open for the entire world to say, yes, I love this.
Look,
Maybe there are a few people out there, like they're exhibitionists, they're people who enjoy to be watched by other people. Okay, cool, fine. But the majority of the cases that is not so is merely for a means to an end.
hmm,
And then we also have to talk about the mental maturity of some of these people because they might be young and dumb, think that this stuff is fine, and then when they grow older and their brains develop, fully mature, they realize the errors of their ways, and it usually comes around when they have children.
hmm.
You,
Well, I listened to a couple of sex podcasts on my journey to grow in a different kind of way, and there's a lot of people who genuinely enjoy doing what they're doing. Like they genuinely enjoy, like their kinks and all these different things. So I guess not.
like I said, there are people who are exhibitionists and
Eh,
they enjoy that, but that is the minority.
you think that's in the minority? I don't know. I'm just this is just conversation. I'm not, you know, I don't have statistics or anything. We're just having a conversation here. You think those people are in in the minority?
I don't think that they're the majority.
Okay, I don't know.
Unless
I,
we're just overrun with exhibitionists and nymphos left, right, and center, then I don't think that that's the majority.
all right.
Nymphomaniacs tend to be in the major in the sorry. Nymphomaniacs tend to be in the minority.
Oh,
Exhibitionists tend to be in the minority.
okay. So let me flip it a little bit and ask, what kind of effect do you think that things like this, OnlyFans and all that kind of stuff, have on men?
Well, for one, I'll talk about the general effect. It leads women to devalue themselves, and it leads men to not respect women. Because if you care so little about yourself that you're going to purposely devalue yourself, why should we hold? I'm talking about from the perspective of a man.
Okay.
If you care so little about yourself that you're gonna knock about yourself and you belong to these streets basically, then why should I treat you special? You're for the streets. You belong to everyone. You don't belong to me, and if you're not mine, why would I treat you special? If
Hmm.
that makes You belong to everybody. Everybody got a piece of you. So why would I treat you like anything else than you for the streets?
So it
Everybody
skews.
knows. It's like everyone knows what every nook and cranny of your body looks like, possibly even the inside, possibly even when someone else is ramming into you. So why should I treat you? Mind you, there are some men out there that have no problem
Yeah.
dating or marrying women who are in that profession.
Yeah.
There's some who have no problem because that is their kink. Some men like to watch their women get fucked by other men.
I
It's their
back in
thing.
my porn days, and I had like favorite porn stars. I would like look up their real life, and a lot of them were married.
Yeah,
A lot of them had husbands.
yeah.
I'm like, you are a
There,
brave motherfucker, because I don't even want my
there's
friend.
some where that is actually a kink.
Well,
Like,
yes,
actually want to see other men have sex with their woman.
like I don't even want to see my girl hug a man. like, uh,
Are you? You're kind of extreme there,
like
God.
you can shake his hand, but you're not about to
Can't even.
embrace this nigga. No.
So she can't hug her male cousins.
I mean, well, family is fine, right? Family
Okay.
is fine, but
Her male best friend.
nah, nigga, nah. I'm a hugger for you. No, no.
That's her best friend, Michael.
You can
There's
shake
no
his
need to.
hand. You can hug. You can hug her when I'm not around.
Oh God.
You're not about to hug
Suppose
her in
he's like,
front of me.
if he's hugging her and lifting her up and stuff like that when you're not around.
I'm gonna feel it, and then I'll run up on him and headbutt him or some shit. Fuck you doing?
A disturbance to the floor.
Yeah, exactly. My spidey senses are tingling. Ah, this nigga acting up. Hold up. Hold my beer.
Ah,
But
man, the Godspeed dash here. Oh man.
but what I
Mm.
saw too when I was looking up these things back in the day is that a few of them, they said that they've never ever seen their wife do any work. Like, he just like, yeah, when you come home, that shit don't exist. And I found it very
I
interesting.
mean, honestly speaking, right? Wouldn't it feel different if y'all are making love? Like, wouldn't she feel stretched out or something like that?
But here's the interesting thing is that that's kind of not how vaginas work.
It all depends if you know how to do Kegels. Some women who don't do Kegels, yeah, that's how it is.
Because when I was listening to this, obviously I don't have a vagina, so I can't I don't have any equity in this. But when there one podcast is run by two women, and
Mm-hmm.
she said that it's a strange thing because the more sex she has, and I guess this might be specific to her, but the other one agreed too, that the more sex she had, the tighter it got. And when she doesn't have a lot of sex, it's not as tight.
I feel like that's missing a bit of context there.
No, but this was the conversation. They were talking about vaginas, and they were talking about like lack of sex and sex in general, because that's a sex podcast, and both of them kind of agreed that when they have more sex, they find that it feels tighter, or the person remarks that it feels tighter, as opposed to if they had a long hiatus, it doesn't feel as tight. I can't vouch for this. Maybe it's just the two of them, but I don't know. But it's two people, two women. I don't know. But obviously, every vagina is different.
But that's what I'm saying. Two people doesn't speak for the entirety of the female gender.
I get it, and we're getting sidetracked here. So so what happens? So in your eyes, in mine as well, because I think that having access to all of these things, and even growing up, right, and how like every time you meet up with your guy friends is how the ladies treating you, or there would be constant conversations about sex and all these different things, that it skews the man's brain into seeing you less as a person and more as an object.
Yeah, and if you are exposed to this stuff from young, you get brainwashed by it, and you're basically feeding a monster that is always hungry.
I discovered sex at 10. I discovered porn at 10.
Yeah.
And it was just downhill from there.
Developing a monster that is always hungry and never gets full.
That was a little different, but essentially.
Training that beast.
It is, and whilst, I ain't got no problem with people doing what they're doing to get rid of want to be. That's completely okay. But I just think that what's going to happen is it's going to start driving a bigger rift between men and women, even outside of.
That's what I said earlier. All actions have consequences. So people saying that all of this is okay. I personally don't believe that all of it is okay. Because at the end of the day, everything that's happening is going to have long-lasting ramifications. So it is not okay.
Yes.
I don't support.
So like
I will never.
Okay, so like even outside of like the social issues that men and women have between them, this part, which you only hear about mostly from like the women's perspective, because obviously men ain't shit.
Yeah, people don't care about men's opinion.
Men ain't shit, and all men are cheaters, all men are dogs, etc., etc.
And then guys be like, bitches ain't shit, or hoes and tricks.
But the cycle is kind of perpetuating itself, where because of the freedom and the liberation of the women and their bodies, and I'm all for it. Listen, I like to see titties too. I'm a man, but
I don't think degrading yourself is cool.
Listen, we got I get, like, I'm gonna get to that. Hold on, we can get to that.
Way how you like to see women just casually exposing their titties.
We can get to that.
You're not going to date a female who walks around casually exposing her titties.
Hold on, we can get to that.
No, but am I right though?
I have a point that I'm trying to make. We can get to that.
But I just want to hear it. Am I right?
You can hear when I get to that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, the cycle is perpetuating itself. So the more body, the more skin, the more sexual content, because of their quote unquote liberation. It then skews men's minds because of all of that influx, and women become less women, and their role is less of what it should be and more just sex. So that
they essentially become a hole to stick it in.
So then what happens is that men go out into the world seeking this sex, and sex only, because that is how they view women. And then women get upset because men only want them for sex, supposedly, hold on, because there's two sides to every story.
That's all they project. If that's all you project, what else do you want them to value you for?
Right, so the cycle perpetuates itself.
Exactly.
And I don't ever like to just say things and not offer solutions. And obviously my solutions can't fix everything, but
how about not objectify yourself so that you don't have to complain about others objectifying you?
Valid. But I'm gonna give a message to the fellas, just, relax with the OnlyFans, relax with the porn, relax with the IG models. Just less of that and more actual speaking and interacting.
I would say less of that and more working on yourself.
Well, that's a given, You should always be working on yourself. That's a given.
No, that's the thing, guys. Some guys allow the prospect of having a female consume their entire thought process.
I've been there. I understand that. I've been there, for sure.
Exactly, so you should understand what I'm saying.
No, I get that.
They allow themselves to be consumed with the idea of having a female. Maybe not even just to have sex, maybe just to like have a girlfriend or wanting female attention, when they should be focusing on building themselves as a person. Because at the end of the day, instead of you having to chase these females that want nothing to do with you or just use you, you could build yourself to a point where people do you enough to want you instead.
Hey, listen. She's speaking facts here, guys.
You make something of yourself. You build yourself mentally, spiritually, financially, physically, and people can see the value in you. Therefore, others would want you more. And you have nothing to offer, nothing of value within yourself, and you just want to fuck bitches left, right, and center.
Also, when you get to a point after you've done the work and you've put in all the effort and the blood and the sweat and the tears, the usual spiel, you get to a point where sex doesn't mean the same thing that it did.
Exactly. I was just going to say, you won't be swayed as much by vagina if you are on your purpose. If you are on your brain. Vagina ain't gonna hypnotize you if you have absolutely nothing going for yourself. Because you have nothing going for yourself, so all you think about is pussy. If you have something going for yourself, you're thinking about your grind, you're thinking about your purpose, you're thinking about your future. Pussy can come. It can come to you.
That's a very valid point. What I'm saying is that sex will always be great. Don't get me wrong. Unless it's not. But
I mean, we need it for our existence, our continuation of the species and all that stuff.
Yes, outside of biology, it'll always be great, but it'll mean something. The meaning of it for you will be a little different when you've reached a point where you are sound with yourself. It'll mean something different. And
it's true.
It not only in the... Hello?
I said you will value it more.
Exactly. You value it, and you come to value a woman because then you can clearly see past all of that, and then you can see what she can bring into your life, as opposed to inviting a crazy ass woman into your life because she got quote unquote fire vagina. Right? And just fuck your whole shit up.
Ruin your life.
Quite literally.
And then you get her pregnant stupid, and then it goes all downhill from there.
And you got a baby mama. And you never want a baby mama. You don't ever want a baby mama. The mother of your child or children is different to a baby mama. You don't ever want that.
And then it affects the future generation because the child is not raised in a household with a loving mother and father, and then they got daddy issues. The mom is abusive. The dad is absent.
And the cycle perpetuates itself.
It destroys their self-esteem. It destroys their self-worth. They don't have people to build them up in those natures. It leads to a lot of mental and emotional trauma. And then you project that trauma onto other people. It's a horrible cycle.
Yeah, the cycle perpetuates itself. On to the point about liberation of women, and you were asking me if I would date a woman that parades her body all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I've dated strippers before. So
Get into a relationship with a stripper.
we were in a relationship, yeah.
Wow.
Was it healthy?
That's
No. Absolutely not.
wow, you were a special kind of crazy. Okay.
I, I'm a bag of cats.
I mean, ooh,
I'm a bag
I
of
would
cats.
I would say you are a neo. You are an anomaly.
Ah, not really. It's just
Not really. So dating strippers is popular.
I don't. It's not popular. It's just I don't think I'm an anomaly because at that time
At that time,
I wasn't the same caliber of man that I am now.
you you were what you would say a weak man.
I was definitely a little weaker, yes. A lot weaker
So that
actually.
standards were pretty low, as we should say.
So but I did I did date her. We were in a relationship. And funny enough, I did find her stripping and making money, etc., like that. At the time, I did find it very endearing.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back at it, do I find it endearing? No. I still kind of do. I still kind of do because she actually enjoyed what she was doing.
Okay.
She actually enjoyed what she
Um,
was doing.
not one of those strippers where she would have sex with the customers.
I don't know about before me, but during me, no.
Ah! Because
And,
there are some strippers who just do it for the dancing and they don't get
exactly,
involved. The
exactly.
men
I've
and the
never
guts.
seen her go into that room, but I'm not there all the time. I wasn't there all the time, so.
I'm
But see,
saying.
but outside of the parameters of a quote unquote relationship, I don't care.
Well, I'm actually interested about this. So, how did you guys get into a relationship? Were
Well,
you one of those? Were you one of those guys that was like, "Oh, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be such a sweet girl. You
just hold
shouldn't be."
on, we're going home.
You're too much of a nice girl to be doing this to yourself.
You act
Let
so different around me.
let me save you.
'Cause you're a good girl and you know it.
Oh my god.
I was definitely not Drake. No. I was definitely not Drake. For sure not Drake. I think the main difference between me and most guys that go to the strip club is that I actually see the women as actual women, whilst all the other men see strippers and whores.
Okay.
So when they come to me and they offer their dancing skills and services,
Their dancing skills.
I would speak
So
to them like they were regular women. I wouldn't slap ass unnecessarily. I won't pull at them or anything. I treat them like actual women.
it's like yes, that jiggle was very nice, and when you were up on that pole, A+. I mean, you are very athletic. You have some strong
And what
arms.
happened was is that over time, she would just come and sit and talk to me. Like in the middle of the night, everybody up doing the thing, and she would just come and sit and talk to me and like tell me about her day and shit. And I was like, why are we doing this? What's going on here?
Michael's like, I'ma buy you a drink.
I definitely did not ever buy drinks. That's hell no.
That is trifling.
I
You can buy
never
a drink
Never
Maybe
bought a single drink ever.
even when y'all were dating, you didn't buy her drink.
Fuck no.
Damn,
I'm not buying
damn.
strip club drinks for women. You understand how expensive those are? What?
No, I meant like y'all are dating and you take her out and you buy her a
Oh no,
drink.
that's fine. That's okay. But I'm not buying you a drink in the club. I'm not doing that. That's wild. I'm not doing that. How about you take me to the lap dance room? Give me a lap dance. I give you $20. You can buy your own drink.
Damn,
I'm not buying drinks.
savage.
I'm not buying drinks. But that all of this to say is that whilst I am happy that they're going through this liberation period where they can feel and express themselves in every way that they see fit.
You can actively
There are drawbacks to it.
You can actively see how it has deteriorated society.
No,
Let's just
yeah, there's drawbacks to it. There's definitely drawbacks to it.
that's basically taking actions and not expecting the ramifications for your actions. You are completely ignoring accountability. And then people wonder why society is the way it is nowadays, why men treat women the way that they do. It's like because you started it. This is what you are doing to yourself. They're treating you how you treat yourself. Men treat you how you treat yourself.
I can't put it all on women. I can't do that. That's just not how my brain works.
I don't put it all on women, but it starts somewhere.
It does have to start somewhere.
Women, like you said earlier, we have all of the power.
In the beginning. In the beginning
of dating and what's not, we have the power.
Correct.
But what are women doing nowadays? They're taking that power and they're tossing it left, right, center, mistreating it. They're not using that power wisely. They might think they are. You selling stuff on Onlyfans or whatever. That is not wise.
Women have the keys and power and access to sex, and men hold the power and access to relationships. The problem is that early on, women tend to give away that power.
That's because they don't necessarily understand the power that they have, and they give it away, and they mistreat it.
Okay, so whose job is it to teach them that?
Their parents.
Yeah?
Their parents.
Parents or mother?
Mother and father.
Okay.
They need both parents to teach them certain values and morals in life. They need both of them.
As opposed to listening to the consensus of society?
What has listening to the consensus of society done to help the majority of women nowadays? The consensus of society changes with the decades. It's not concrete.
Well, women are in a really good position right now in society. I know a lot of women would argue.
That is debatable. A good position, how?
I mean, like, sorry. Obviously, there's issues. We get it.
The birth rate is going down the drain. Relationships don't last more than 5 minutes.
Well, the birth rate going down is actually good for the planet. Just saying.
Let's not get into that. We're so not getting into that.
Just saying, it's actually good for the planet. I know it sounds bad, but the planet literally needs there to be less of us.
Michael, we're not getting into that. We're not getting into that. Moving along smartly.
Just saying.
Moving along smartly.
Just saying.
I was saying. Relationships don't last more longer than 5 minutes. Marriages don't last longer than 5 minutes. There is a clear mistrust between the sexes. Women don't trust men. Men have lost respect for women.
Yeah, but
And it's just downhill.
look at it,
It's
right? Um,
there's no stability. There is no family stability.
okay, so how do we
You're not
fix this? How, in your opinion, how do we get to a point where this rift that is clearly there, that some are making.
boy. Boy, if you put that on me, you can hear everybody's like, "Oh, who does she
Hold
think
on,
she is?"
take a second, take a pause,
Like,
pause for a second. So the rift that we currently have between men and women, there's a group of people who are taking it and making it perverse meaning deviating from the course that it should be. I don't know if anybody actually knows the meaning of the word perverse. There's those people. There's people who are choosing to completely ignore that there is a rift, and then there's people like myself who's like, so how do we fix this? What are the steps that we can take to fix this rift? Because the rift doesn't benefit anyone but like major corporations and shit.
the rift started with the destruction of the nuclear family to begin with. It starts from top down. If you have a stable family, you usually don't have issues with the children that form the next generation. You fracture the family unit, you divide the father from the mother, you put the mother in the workforce, so now you have strangers and the state to raise your children. And they instill all of this garbage with celebrities and rap music and pop music
Hey,
and
hold on now. I like me rap music. I like rap music. Hold on now.
yeah, cause bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. Let me
First of all,
rap about drugging females and getting pussy left, right, and center and
not
gang
all
banging.
rap is about that stuff. All right.
Of course, not all rap is about that stuff, but who is promoted in the mainstream
Yeah,
when
I
it
get you.
comes to
Yeah, I
so
get you.
so spare me. Do not bullshit me. You know
I'm not
what they're
bullshitting you.
promoting.
I'm just saying, don't spread a blanket.
It's not about spreading a blanket. We're talking about what is out there to brainwash the children of
I
society.
saw I saw a YouTube video and they
The
specifically talked
underground
about.
rappers, the underground rappers and stuff who might actually rap about something meaningful, they do not even get a fraction of the promotion that all of these idiots that they got on the radio, like Lil Nas, fucking. Did you see that video?
I have not, because one, I've never actually listened to a single word that he has said. Also,
Um, Old Town Road. That's the Old Town
I've
Road guy.
literally never listened to that song.
Okay, well that's the only song I know him for, and this one that everyone was freaking out over.
And
I'm just like,
I have
this
heard
stuff.
people talk about him sliding down a pole on the devil's dick, and
Yeah,
I don't want to see that.
basically start here in the Garden of Eden. The snake come, he gets seduced by the snake. He kind of start fucking the snake. Then he was going up to heaven, and he was like, "Nah, I'm a head out, and I'm just gonna slide down this pole to hell and give Satan a lap dance, and then crack his neck and take his crown, and now he's the ruler of hell." I'm just like,
Uh, I'm all right. I don't.
I was
Okay,
like, yeah.
I'm all right. Okay.
But
I'm very picky on what I let into my headspace. So.
my point being, when you divide the family, the
Mhm.
mother is no longer at home to supervise the children. She's no longer there to watch what they eat, supervise what they see, supervise what they are consuming um, mentally and physically with food and what they watch, what they see, what they hear. So the parents aren't home anymore because we had liberation and women can go into the workforce. That's cool. So now you have strangers raising your kids. You have the internet, the TV, the radio, these actors, these movies raising your kids because they get their morals and their values now from these actors and these artists and the government and whatever they're brainwashing the kids in school. They have that. And then they sexual and these artists, they sexualize everything. The movies sexualize
But
everything.
everything
The
is
music
sexualized. Everything. Sex sells. Plain and simple.
exactly. So you do not have the protectors of your children there to watch over them because they're in the workforce. They don't have time to watch over the kids.
So
So who will watch?
they traded the nuclear
So now,
family for
so now
the
we have these deviants raising our kids,
deviants. Oh,
and then what do? They then promote hedonism. They try to eliminate Christianity, and I'm not saying that Christianity is the true religion that got um, all of these other religions, people fighting over who's the real God. Like we don't know.
uh
Like
just for this space and this podcast, I don't touch religion. I don't touch it.
I'm not touching religion. That's why I said we don't know who is the real God. Like we don't know.
All
We
of this
don't
is
even know.
touching. I don't touch it here at all. Like at all.
My point being, there was in religion there was a certain foundation. There are certain teachings and certain morals
Mm-hmm.
that with a strong foundation of a stable family. Certain morals that are taught in religion help people on how to live their lives in a non-destructive way where they take personal accountability for their actions. When you get rid of that, it opens up the door to hedonism where it's a anything goes, you accept anything is supposed to be accepted and you're supposed to praise everything vile and let
Vile.
me
Wow. Vile. That's a very strong word.
let me finish. Anything vile and you would say degenerate, delinquent, um, against the norm, you celebrate and things that have been
Well, normal
the way
changes.
so certain the way certain things become norms in society is because these things have been tried and practiced throughout history. They have been tested throughout history, and our ancestors did away with the things that didn't work and they kept the things that did. And that is how you build norms. That is how you build certain values in societies. Because you witness what happens when you do certain things and it results in negative actions. So you cast those away and you keep the things that results in more positive things. But now in this society, all the negative things that we cast away, we're now bringing them in and claiming that they're good. And it has led to the slow deterioration of a lot of values, of a lot of relationships, a lot of morals, a lot of self-respect when it comes to society and how people view themselves. And then at the end of the day, people are confused as to why this is happening. Is because these things have been fracturing from the moment we decided to split up a stable family. The
So
moment you the moment you crack that foundation, everything goes to shit.
so
Everything.
you say all of that to say that the first step is to let me see how I can clearly put
Snort
this.
it. The young ladies need to be taught.
Restore the idea. Sorry, restore the family. The
and restore the. That is the foundation that everything is built upon. If you destroy that, then everything else goes to shit,
So
and everything.
family values is where we should begin.
Yes, family values.
Okay, so that's a tough place.
The young ladies, and if you want to talk about the individuals, the young ladies need to learn to respect themselves more, close your legs, start selling yourself out there like some sort of internet prostitute, and then the men know, will see, and make it a little harder for these young men. Stop making instant gratification leads people to devalue things. If you're
I can
giving
agree
it
with that.
away, if you're giving it away left, right, and center, people won't value it as much. Stop selling yourself short. If you show more respect for yourself, then the people around you will respect you more. And if you stop putting up with certain things, if you stop complaining with certain things, then the young men now will be forced to look at you a different way, and they will be forced to treat you a different way.
Also,
Yeah.
fellas, there's a flip side to this, and this applies to you as well. Stop wasting your seed out there. Stop it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Stop slanging dick. I
Women,
listen, and
Elijah, and men keep your dick to yourself.
I am guilty of slanging dick. Don't get me wrong. I've been there. I've done that. It's great at the time. I guess maybe, but you gotta stop, like, just wasting your seed like that. You gotta stop putting. Hold on. You gotta stop putting so much emphasis on sex. And even to this day, I have my moments where I kind of fixate on it. It's a natural thing, but that the level of control and the level of clarity required to go through life, you're gonna need to put these things to the side a little bit. You're gonna have to. Listen, trust me. Look, and this is not gonna be like a semen retention thing, but I did that for a little bit just because I wanted to see what it was all about. I wanted to see if there was any value here. So I did it. I think I made 70 days. 70 days. Mind you, 70 days is the longest I have not put my hand on myself or tried to insert myself into a woman in my entire 30 years. Well, not 30 years, because obviously the first few years you're not doing that, but the entirety of my life. and it's like, during that time, obviously there's a period where you just want to get off, get that nut out or whatever, or you see a sexy thing, you say, what, cheese on, boy, or a girl that you're chatting up, say, hey, got this here for you, come and get it. And the urge for it is there, but see, when you resist that and you take a step back and you just kind of hold all that in, over time you start to get a little clearer. You start to get a little more focused. You start to get a little bit more energy. You understand it? And I am into the all spiritual stuff, but you see that seed? That seed is carried. Think about it. When you, fellas, because I going off here.
I was holding back getting into that. Then you know how much power a man's seed holds.
I going off a little bit here, right? So just bear with me. Just bear with me. Then think about every time, fellas, because I can't say this to a female. It's different for a female. Think about the times that when you bust a nut. Afterwards, it's just one or two things happen. Either you fall asleep immediately. Sorry, one of three things. Which the third one is a combination of the first two things. You either fall asleep immediately, or you feel a little disgusted with yourself afterwards, or both. You feel a little disgusted, and then you go to sleep because you feel disgusted. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? It is not a natural course for men. For male animals. Very few animals actually masturbate. Very few. And because of how society and porn and all that kind of stuff, and it has now come to a point where it's absolutely normal for you to beat your meat and put it in a tissue in a sock and throw it in the garbage. And it is now weird to not beat your meat. You imagine that. It is now weird for you not to masturbate.
You actually drop your testosterone levels when you beat your meat so constantly.
You know, your testosterone levels drop, and you might think, oh, what the fuck? What is that? Listen, testosterone aids in your confidence. Testosterone is a pheromone which actually attracts more women.
Testosterone is what makes you a man, goddammit.
Exactly. So you put that shit in a sock, or you're letting it off with a random or a woman that you don't actually like. You know, I'm not pretending that you do semen retention. I'm just saying, think a little bit more about what you do with the other half of creating life.
And let me say, right? People need to stop devaluing what sex actually is. People think that sex, it's just an action where you get a nut, she get a nut, and that's it. It's like
It's a little bit more
you are exchanging and mixing energies. You are exchanging and mixing energies. The energy that could potentially create new life into this world. People don't understand how powerful it is.
I never used to look at sex that way, like mixing of energies and stuff. I never did.
It's the mixing of energies, is the mixing of fluids. It's the mixing of DNA.
I get that.
You are merging your DNA together. You are mixing your energies together. There is a whole chemical release of hormones inside both of your bodies that goes on when you have sex. Sex is not just sex. That's a whole chemical experiment going on right there when two people bump uglies together. And you have the potential, and it is so powerful that you have the potential.
Only if you subscribe to it. Because I personally know some women where the act of sex is just the act of sex.
Listen, it's not, but I'm telling you, they might think that, it's just sex. But it is never just sex. It's never just sex.
Only if you subscribe to it that way. Everybody's different.
Because that's what I'm saying. People do not understand how serious sex actually is. They don't subscribe to it because they don't understand how serious the action is.
Somehow this conversation has turned into some sort of sex podcast, which is fine. I'm all for it.
The initial topic was weak men, and we never did got to the entitled women part of this podcast.
Yeah, see, what happened is that you didn't really notice when I made the conscious shift to turn the podcast into this.
Well, I didn't notice, and I was like, okay, so are we never going to get to the entitled women? I would really love to hear about your views on.
Yeah, so basically what's going to happen, folks, is that, because I'm going to tell you, I don't have anything to hide. You're not going to hear party intro. You're not going to hear like the first 10 or so minutes of this conversation. So us talking about this at the end of it, it sounds like, well, what did they talk about? Yeah, I cut all that out. because as we were having this conversation.
All this part.
Huh?
You're gonna cut out all of this part.
No, I'm keeping this. Because as we were having this conversation, I picked up on how important it was for me to hear this conversation from other people, and I think it would be important for other people to hear this conversation from like a regular person or someone that they know, right? So I made the conscious shift, like as we were speaking, to just cut out the previous topic that I had, because this is the beauty of the Off the Top podcast. Where it goes, and there's always gems.
And whatever comes off the top of your head, you just go with
I
it.
go with it. Because that way you get the most authentic, normal, regular, passionate Mike. And I think what we discussed here was extremely important for both men and women to listen. I know it kind of sounded at one point that we were a little hard on women. And it's not that we were hard on women. It is just that there needs to be a level.
I'm being hard on women.
Well, see, okay, well, there you go. The views of the guest does not reflect on the podcast.
We have to take responsibility for the power that we wield. So yes, you need to be hard. You cannot coddle grown ass adults.
And I'm not trying to coddle you. What I'm saying is that
you gotta say it like it.
The point of the conversation was to highlight that there needs to be a higher level of accountability of the actions.
Most definitely.
On both ends. Not just women, but men too. But the issue is that, and I had a conversation, I actually had, it was a little mini argument, that a lot of the things that men do in life is to acquire a woman.
Yep.
And
yep.
And it is in that I put a lot, I don't want to say a lot, I put the responsibility, the 50-50, right? But I put responsibility on women. I want them to really understand that the things that you do and the things that you say, the requirements that you have, etc., 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 has an effect on men in a deeper way than you really think it does.
Facts. You know what they say, with great power comes great responsibility.
And what happens is, especially in this day and age, is that they want all the power, but they aren't willing to take the responsibility. They want to put the responsibility of that power on men and then put all the other responsibilities on men. No.
And then blame everything on men. It's like, no, sweetheart.
They do.
You have a major role in this as well. You need to be accountable for your actions. Exactly. Because he cannot do any of these things if you did not allow it.
Think of a man that has no interest in women. And not to say that he's gay or anything. He just doesn't care. Look at his life. His life is simple. He doesn't stand out at all. And then look at a man who's trying to get the attention of women. They're gonna look like two completely different men. You understand? Two completely different men. So a lot of the things that we do to acquire a woman. And with that, it is such a interesting thing that people are trying to separate this now, as opposed to realizing that men and women have a huge impact on each other's lives and they need to take responsibility for that.
That's true.
They really do. But everybody wants to speak, but nobody actually wants to do anything or take responsibility to do anything. And they
want to point the fingers at other people and blame everyone else for something that they could have prevented themselves.
Right. So with all that being said, that is why it sounded a little harsher on women than it did on men. But, men have it tough. Women have it tough. We all have it tough. But it doesn't make sense us trying to negate the other's issues in favor of ours. It doesn't make sense. Because we gotta live on this planet together.
I say all the time, men treat you the way you treat yourself or how you allow them to treat you.
People will treat you how you allow them to treat you.
Yeah, they take cues on how to treat you from how you treat yourself.
Fellas, that goes for you too. It goes for you too. If you allow a woman to push and pull you on the promise of vagina, she will always do so. Always.
She will not. She will have no respect.
She will have zero respect for you, and then the cycle of hurt perpetuates itself.
She will keep applying the pressure to see how much she can get away with too.
At every step.
Same goes from.
Yep.
It goes from both parties. test you. Both parties test each other to see what they can get away with.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, this is getting a little long. We can stop this shortly. But trying to separate the issues as like men issues, women issues, whilst they are very real. It is the issues of women, say, like
we play off of each other.
correct.
We can't have both the other, and like you said, it's like it should be a dance.
You cut out there.
Hello?
You cut out there just now for a second.
Oh, sorry about that. I said it should be like a dance. We play off of each other.
Correct.
Every action has an equal reaction. Just think about it like that. It's not this body's fault, or that is like we both need each other. We cannot survive without each other. And the actions of one reflects off the actions of the other.
Correct.
So you can't entirely blame one set, or you can't entirely blame the other.
Yes.
How we behave, it will reflect into how the person treats us.
We need to start coming together to mend the rift. We can't stand on separate sides trying to fix an issue without the other side. We can't.
As I was saying, like, women can't toss themselves around and then wonder why men don't respect them, and men can't treat women like men can't treat women like garbage, treat them like objects, and then wonder and then say that, oh, we can't find any woman out there that ain't loyal, women ain't shit, da, 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 da. But like I said, it has to start somewhere. Women respect yourself more, and the men in turn will respect you more.
Vice versa.
And vice versa.
So, with that, I think we're going to wrap it up here. This has been a very interesting conversation and somewhat fun. Not somewhat fun. It's been fun. Having a guest for the first time was
I just hope in this overly sensitive society we don't get a lot of hate mail.
I don't think so. And
Well,
even if it did, it doesn't.
You don't ever think these things, but it happens anyway. I just hope people understand the concept of the conversation.
Well,
and if there are criticisms, then you can also voice your opinion on what you think was misguided or, misinformed opinions, or if you have a better solution for certain things that were presented.
Hey, look at her. She's better at this than I am. I ain't telling you nothing like that. She's better at this than I am.
Hey, we're open for open dialogue, as they say.
Hear her talking about we.
Interested in a different perspective. What? Am I not gonna get dated?
She talking about we. Like
I like to hear.
Like this is her podcast.
To hear what the fans have to say.
Talk about we.
Fans.
Me.
Your fans.
I ain't got no fans. It's just,
Oh, come on. If you have
a small community of people trying to better themselves.
Got some fans over there. Don't hold yourself short.
People do recognize me in public these days, which is weird.
I mean, you're hard to avoid. You're pretty tall and shit.
I can disappear pretty easily, so
I've yet to see that.
I do it all the time. Anyway, this is you're distracting me from my outro, man.
Apologies.
Thank you very much for listening. You can find me on all the socials at Mike Off the Top. That's DA Top, not the top. The top. T doesn't have anything that I can give you because she is trying to be anonymous, so there's no socials for her. Nothing. Can't find her. She doesn't exist. Technically, this is an automated program that I created to talk to me, so it sounds like I have a guest.
I'm a figment of your imagination.
Yes, she's a weirdo. Um, Thank you very much for listening. This has been another episode of the Off the Top podcast. I'm your host, Michael Jordan. No, I don't play basketball. And I'm out.